Hey everyone, welcome back to Houkago no Pleiades, episode 10, Shining Knight, and episode 11, The Final Light, and his name. So, and I have Skyline with me.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, and these two episodes were pretty interesting. I mean, I like what they did with these two, but I want to jump in with top three. I guess number three for me would be episode 10 it was heavy Minato episode. It was all about his past and everything, and how he became a magical boy. I leave that in quotes because he looks very girly, I'm not gonna lie, as a little kid, but I guess most little kids, most little boys, I guess, look kind of girly in anime, as far as I can see. I mean, I don't know.
There's kind of a holdover fashion to that, in a way that you it's kind of like children treat as cute, and you treat them one specific way as like kind of like non-gendered when you get right down to it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, at a certain age, you make the boys more boys and the girls more girls, and it's a whole gender divide thing. It's got a long and complex history.
Yeah, I just saw it weird that when you saw Minato, his outfit compared to the other kid they made, or talk about in a minute, he was wearing like a shoe was kind of like a girl would wear, and I was looking at him like maybe he's not really but like you said, when they're dealing with kids that I think that age, they're gonna do what they want with them, and it's kind of hard to, like you said. But yeah, I agree. But anyway, yeah, it was nice seeing Minato's flashback, and I guess where he met this other kid named, I'm probably gonna butcher his name, Elanath or whatever, Alnath. Okay, there you go.
Alnath.
Yeah, and he was just I guess magical creature that I guess he saw, and he could see him, and I guess they kind of bonded on that and became friends. But they revealed something near the middle of the episode that, or I think near the end of that episode, that Minato's been in a coma the entire time. Yeah. So it makes you wonder, what is this spirit ghost thing that is flying around this other kid? Is it his soul basically, or is it his consciousness? We don't really know what that really is. Minato that Subaru's been seeing. It's like it kind of seems a little weird because Subaru meets him, and they don't really talk about him being in a coma. So it's kind of weird, but they answer that in 11.
Yeah, they do answer that in 11, but it all has to do with the possibility you're able to have. By meeting Elnath, he had a different possibility creep up into his life. So instead of being a sickly kid that was bedridden, that had no one coming to visit him, incredibly lonely, he could go out on an adventure and have a sense of fulfillment, have a friend.
Right.
And so that was a possibility. That was a way his life could have gone. Instead of that way, and as long as he kind of believed in that and pursued that,
right,
then he could kind of keep that life. But once he started going against the perceptive nature of what he had to do, like once he started going away from collecting those potential crystals and going on to the fragments, he kind of got away from what his new mission and his new life was. So that fractured him, that split him up.
Right, the whole magic thing. The magic gave him the ability to leave his body and all that. And they could also be playing around the timeline thing where in this other world he wasn't in the coma, he was just in an accident, and he can do all this stuff. And I almost feel that it could be a Clandid series type thing taking on this too, with him being in the coma and the magic and all that. Yeah. It just feels like it would be something they would write. But yeah, it was nice seeing the Minato flashback and more about that character, because for a long time he's been a big mystery. Like, who is he? How does Subaru know him? And the last couple episodes we've been getting this little bits of what he really is, and this one kind of gives you more, but not the full story until next episode. But yeah, what was your number 3?
It kind of ties into your number 3, but it goes away from it. The Elnath, wow, he just went some really, really strange quantum physics, talking about superposition and crystallized possibility and things like that. It's just the idea that on a quantum level, like when you get down below the atomic level to the individual constituent particles of matter, it's like it can be energy, it can be matter, it can be both or neither, until you observe it and interact with it, because it's going by so fast and it's so small and minute that we're just not used to being, our perceptions can't really come to grips with it. And if I pieced out exactly what Elnath was saying, he was basically saying that his race is so advanced that they wanted to find superfuel, and just by looking for it, they found it. It's like all of a sudden turning around and there's a gas station. Oh, I needed a gas station. Right there it is. And, that whole idea of like crystallized possibility, humans have a lot of potential to change than say other animals do. We're cool builders, we're constructive. We can alter the environment on a grander scale than any animal is even capable of. Yeah, beavers can build a dam, but so what? We can build it out of concrete and make and then make electricity with it. Screw you, beaver. We got more potential than you do. And so I love how all that tied in together to some of the weirder, grander ideas of quantum mechanics they were talking about in the show.
It's also kind of I guess play on the whole humans and aliens thing. That aliens obviously have far more advanced technology and things than we do. That's an obvious given with like sci-fi movies and everything that show us that. But it was nice seeing that Elnath is just. I kind of wish he would come back more, but I guess he's kind of just he's there for a bit and almost like he passes his power off to Minato. I think like near the end of one episode. I think next episode. Or a bit of 10, I don't know, I forget what happened.
Maybe. Well, you know who Elnath is, right?
Not really, I think I was trying to guess he was isn't he the plebeian alien thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Once Minato lost sight of him, he was no longer what Minato needed, which was a boy his own age that could take him away from all that and take him on an adventure.
Right, because the plebeian takes the form of what you want and what you see him as. But yeah, I can see that.
He became a Shackleite, fell into a rock, and then Nanako found him later on, and thus the change went on later on. He gathered up all those crystallized possibility things, and then he went on to the bigger thing of getting the engine. He had the fuel, now he needs the engine.
Right.
And that's where they're going.
Yeah, that's true. For my number 2 would be, I guess, episode 11, Subaru, I guess, Lobster Powers, at the end of episode 10. I think they did something where she confronted Minato and I guess she lost her powers somehow. I really didn't understand it, but they were doing that as the whole you gotta find your inner power thing. They're doing that whole cliche thing that I've seen in a bunch of Magical Girl series where a character will lose their power temporarily because they've lost hope or something, or they lost their desire or something to fight, which is a common thing in almost any anime, I would say, for if you have like people fighting each other. But it was just interesting seeing her struggle, I guess, a little bit to get her powers back. Eventually, she does get her power back near the end, but yeah, it was just her, I guess, discovering Minato again. At the end was kind of also that whole thing, which I thought was pretty nice.
Well, they've been playing around with the idea that once they find all the engine fragments, the whole magical adventure is over, and the 5 of them have to go their separate way.
Yep.
And she realized that, and it kind of made everything pause for her. The rest of the girls are kind of okay with this. They appreciate the time they had together. Nothing can ever replace it. All of those standard joyful tropes and all that.
Right.
But Subaru wants to take it a step further. And it's like Minato asks her, tells her, you really don't want this to end. You don't want to find that last fragment. I could take these empty fragments and have to start over again. And you'd be perfectly fine with that, wouldn't you?
Right, because she made a comment that no matter what time, they're still going to meet each other.
Exactly.
Because they're predestined to meet each other no matter what. A little bit of like, a take on, for me, like Aquarion was like that. Past people that lived, that died. No matter what happens, they're always going to find each other somehow, some way. And, but yeah, like you said, she does really... Subaru has, like, I guess, you almost want to say she has the most to lose from all this. As far as, like, all these friends she's made. And, maybe it makes you think, if she goes back to her timeline, maybe she realized that she wasn't really that... and also the whole change thing we keep drilling in our heads about. The girls want to change, they don't want to be the same as they used to be.
Yeah, they keep on playing around with that potentiality, but, that's kind of a... you often think you have a destiny, and once you fulfill it, then what happens? Happily ever after? No, you climb to the top of the mountain, and then guess what? There's no mountain.
Right, yeah.
and just when you think you got somewhere, it's like, oh, I got this now. Now what do I do? Well, you go get something else. And so they're kind of playing around with that idea that, I'm grown up now because I'm not in elementary school. I'm in middle school. Well, there's high school yet. There's a whole lot more potential coming your way.
Yeah. What was your number 2 this week?
My number 2 this week, going into that, another science thing. They talk about dark energy and dark matter.
Oh, yeah.
the thing about it is okay, the universe is expanding due to the Big Bang.
Mm-hmm.
And what we can look, when we look out and we do all our measurements of what's happening out there in outer space, we can account for X amount of bodies which give off gravitation. But when we add all the numbers up, and I'm terrible at math and all that, so you know, I just know this at a basic level. When you add up all the numbers, there's not enough gravitational bodies out there to affect the way the universe is expanding. And so therefore, there must be something out there that we can't see or directly interact with that is causing the expansion to go at the rate it does. And so we're calling that, since we can't see it, we're calling it dark matter. And matter also has energy to go along with it. And so I kind of find a neat idea that this is an alien race. Oh yeah, this is some of the cast-off ideas we had before we discovered, potential energy and stuff like that. It's a common scientific principle on a thing which for us is just a hypothetical model. I mean, we have done no practical experiments whatsoever on what it is. It's just it's a placeholder idea until we learn more.
Right. Yeah.
But I kind of like that idea about how they keep on popping around different places in the universe, and they notice that. I mean, they go out to intergalactic space. They go out to the space to where when you look off into the horizon, you don't see individual stars. You see individual galaxies, those tiny little dots all spread together into that weird honeycomb kind of pattern that they were showing. You know, that's what they theorize when you pull out far enough away into space. That's what the galaxies look like, all clumped together, billions of galaxies. And I kind of like that idea that the rate of expansion we're going at, we can't clock because we can only see things through light. So we can't. We have a horizon in the cosmos that we can't see past. And I love how they're playing with that. How like, man, if we could just go fast enough, or teleport quick enough, or be in the right place at the right time, we could go beyond that horizon and see what's coming next. So again, they're playing really, really neat into some great scientific and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I kind of got my, I guess, second wish of this series that they would go outside of our universe, and they did somewhat. And the teleporting thing was kind of cool that they played around with that. I like that bit. It was interesting.
That trip down memory lane was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was pretty good. My number one would be superhero. Obviously, I kind of hinted at earlier. Gives her powers back at the end of episode 11 through, I guess, drinking strawberry milk. Is what I took from it anyway. That because she was drinking all this, I guess, orange strawberry banana juice, and me and my brother made a joke
banana juice.
Yeah, me and my brother made a joke that the banana juice was like sapping her magic power. Because they replaced it. It's like, oh no, my power, the secret of her power is the strawberry milk. And but yeah, she gets her powers and she gets a new outfit, which is all black and purple, or black and pink. And I'm like, that's cool, but it's like, why is it black? I was like, is she the new main villain? That would be hilarious. But
they were always chasing Minato's tail when you get right down to it. I mean, he was the one that came in and just took the stuff. So he was the opposition. He was the person that Subaru kind of had to learn from. And now what she's kind of learned from this is that she's more than this potential lets on. She's able to do a whole lot more than even the Pleiades is even guessing at. So then she kind of becomes that new thing that the rest of the girls have to chase. But hey, at least they're together.
Yeah, that's pretty sure. Yeah, I like the new outfit she got. It's pretty cool. Almost like she was almost inspired by Minato. Like, I like your outfit, so. And now she wants to be just like him. But yeah, she's back with her power, and almost makes you wonder maybe she's got, like you were saying, maybe the dark matter power. Maybe that's her magical ability now, because they were talking about it. And maybe that's Minato's power too. That's why he can maybe teleport super fast, and the girls can't see him. He appears at the right moment because he's just faster. That's just probably what it is. But yeah, like that. What was your number one?
It kind of comes into like how you were saying about how she becomes a magical girl, but in one of the flashbacks that was sadly revealed to be something he's still clutching onto in that coma, she gave him a little toy star. And then as they're drifting out through space, in return he gives her like a real magical star. And in the moment she realizes he's in a coma, all that stuff is going on, that star reappears, and that's what makes her into the Minato magical girl. Which is what I'm calling her new form.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And of course, he gets a new form because the story has to go on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
She has to chase him again because that's what the story's about right now, chasing after the potential, chasing after the possibility. And then the rest of the girls will probably catch up to the both of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. And I guess random notes I have just, I don't know, episode 10 and 11 was nice, a touching story between Minato and Subaru, how their lives are just together, you know, I guess they're always going to be destined to get together, and just seeing the interaction between those two. And I think how, like you said, the end of episode 11 when she walks into that room and finally opens the door to the dimension, whatever, she sees him there, and you know, it's like you said, touches his hand, all that stuff, the star that she made, and they trade in stars. It's a really nice put together story, I think, for even for a Magic World series that I didn't think was going to do a whole lot besides, you know, collecting the shards and that's it. There's actually more to this story than that you know, people would want to believe. You know, and I don't know, I just like the episode 10 and 11. They're probably my favorites so far of this series. Even though I still like Nanako's, but this one's pretty good.
It's always better when, you know, they have the items in the fetch quest become part of the story.
Right, it should be the background stuff.
You're not just collecting a plot coupon or something like that. You're actually changing the story, making it different by collecting another fragment.
And then giving each girl their time to shine, I guess, give them their moments. But in the end, it's really more about Subaru and Minato.
Yeah.
Their story, how it, you know, affects everyone else. And like you said, she's gonna be chasing him probably forever, which makes you think that that's probably gonna be the end of the series with her chasing after him still. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the show where they don't collect the engine and, you know, the plebeian doesn't go back home and they just keep going. But they may change things. We never know.
Or they do, and that could change the status quo in a different way.
Right, they could maybe move on from these alternate timelines and maybe live their lives, you know? And maybe you see Minato and Subaru get together and they have to start their own family or something. But who knows? I mean, this series could do anything. It has definitely surprised me.
Yep, it's very complex, but still very compelling little romance that they have going on.
Right, they're not drilling it in our heads that they're together. Oh my God, they're kind of treating it more like, you know, it's part of a story. They're not gonna go too deep into it, you know. But most shows would do. But anything else to mention about these two episodes?
Yeah, there's just that random bit when they were on the school rooftop waiting for Subaru to come back after she was facing Minato.
Oh yeah.
Kind of getting the fragments back right when she split off. There was just that one moment when I started knitting a scarf and just super fast motion. And then by the time Subaru came back, the scarf was long enough to wrap around the four girls and still had plenty of room left over.
Yeah.
I just thought that's just a great moment, you know, that you can only do in animation when you get right down.
Yeah. That's pretty good. And I guess we're back next week about the final. And again, series recap and all that, and we thought about the whole thing. And I guess see you guys next week for, I guess, the final, like I said.
Later on, folks.
See ya.